Yeah, welcome everybody. This is well, Factory 101 concepts, I guess. It's just really introducing you what we use and how we can, what the concepts behind, building something in a factory. How do we connect things together? This side you're looking at mainly the liquid types, and on this side you're looking at your solids, your iron ores, your limestone and such. I mean, this is your standard constructor, which is what we get, right at the beginning. So this is where we're banging out our plates, our iron plates, iron rods, screws. It's basically one input for one output. Effectively, the input is at the rear here. If I click on it, there you go. Oh, oops. So the orange arrow there is your input and your green arrow is your output. So yeah, that is the pretty standard. Our bread and butter is the constructor. We'll use it all the way through the game. Then that's followed closely by the assembler and then the manufacturer. Obviously the manufacturer has a lot more inputs. It's got 4. Assembler's got 2. Constructor's got 1. And they've all got a single output. So you can see where this is leading. It's basically all recipes that need more than, one input. And same again for the oils, although you're looking really, this is the refiner, so that's got 2 inputs, 2 outputs, a packager, and a blender. So let's take a bit of a closer look. It's worth just going, so you press E to get up this screen when you get next to it. And like I say, you select a recipe. So whatever, I'm in creative mode here, so I've got all the alt recipes as well. So there's a lot more than you'll probably see in yours. And you get here how much per minute of the input you want, and then how much of the output you'll get per minute. So that's pretty important stuff, as we'll see later when we do we'll go through a reinforced iron plate one, which is a good example of how to, the concepts of building a factory or getting all these machines, working together from a single input to, your desired output. So yeah, like I said, this is the constructor. This is our bread and butter. You'll be using this all the way through the game. Constructors are always needed. You can even do these as well. Obviously, blue power slugs, you're not going to put them as an automatic. It's just what you can find. And to be honest, it's just as quick to grind them. But, they're here if you want them. Empty canisters, usually them are needed to input into another, like a manufacturer, or more so across the way there, when we're going into a packager, for example. But the assembler, now the assembler's a little different. We do get this quite early on. It's what we need to do with smart plating, for example. So that takes 2 inputs, these recipes. So you got 2 inputs at the back here. Several, obviously, again, there's my reinforced iron plate. This is what we'll be going through later on. But yeah, so you got iron plates in this one and screws, and it will give us a reinforced iron plate. So it's 2 inputs, 1 output. You can play a bit with the clocking on these as well once you've done overclocking. So once you've opened that up, and you can reduce the speed, from this dial here, or you can actually type it in, So for example, if you want to do this to get it down to like a 20 iron plates per minute. I think that's 3.33 actually. So yep, 20 per minute. So it automatically changes the inputs, but it also changes the outputs. But that means you can look towards getting 100% efficiency by playing with overclocking. And you can add power shards and you can actually overclock. So you can get more than double. You can get up to 250% output. But obviously that means you need to give 250% more on your input. And then finally for for our solids, I guess, is this, which is your manufacturer. So this is like a huge thing. It needs like 4 inputs. So there's certain recipes for that. Heavy modular frame is, we're looking here at mid to late game. This is when we're going to be utilizing this sort of equipment. But it is, more and more useful as we get to that end, and a lot of these big recipes here, they'll become more important as we go along, but we'll not see that for a good few milestones before we need to use the manufacturer. So that's that done. Now if we go over to the fluid side, you get this pretty much as soon as we start to see oil. We've got the refinery. So basically that comes out with a liquid and a solid input, but it doesn't need to have both. And again, like for example, this one, heavy oil residue in, residue out, or you got this one, you got 2 inputs in this case and 1 output. So it all depends on the recipe. One thing is on this, if you do have an output at the back, which is liquid, you're going to have to get rid of it somehow, because it fills up, it's going to stop the machine. So, so you do have to be careful of things like that. I mean, that's just got 1 output. That's fine. You get a lot of these, residual plastic is a popular one for getting out possible. We don't really use petroleum coke too much. So let me see what else we've got here. We got aluminum sulfuric acid. That's all a 1 output. There must be there we go. So aluminium scrap, and it gives water. So you're gonna have to package that water and get rid of it. Otherwise, your machine will stop when it fills up with water. So, and this is the packager. So, like I said, if we needed to get rid of that water out of the blender, we would probably put it in something like this. In this case, I'm looking at the packaged oil one, so it just gets an empty canister in, as well as the crude oil, and it spits out at the other end a packaged oil. And we could do that for the water as well. And again, I've got this in creative mode right now, so there's no power, no, all the alternate recipes. But at the end of the day, you will have as many recipes as you find. So you get ones that you unlock through the milestone system, and then you get those what you pick up from the hard drives when you're searching for the world for them. And this is an example where we're putting packaged oil in, and we're sort of reversing the system on the output. We're getting the crude oil out and then the empty canisters. So in a way, it's a reverse, but that's what the packager does. It packages, and then it also unpackages when you need it at the other end, for example. So I think we're pretty much covered on the packager. It is useful. It is very, very useful sort of tool. But again, mid-game. And last but not least, for the oil, this is what we call a blender. So this is as 4 inputs, up to 4 inputs anyway. So you got 2 fluids and 2 solids to give you 1 or possibly 2 outputs. So if you are into the front, you'll see there's a solid and a liquid potential output. So that's those. So what else do we have? Well, then we've got the late game ones, and a lot of these are new. The latter 2 are, but we got this particle accelerator. So again, this is closer towards the latter end of the building cycle of the game, the end game we can call it. Nuclear pasta is obviously one that we probably want to be building. So again, that has 3 inputs, potential inputs, and 1 output. So let me just build out the foundations a little bit more, and then we can have a look at the others too. So we're here now for the 1.0. So this is new in the 1.0. So this is all sort of like the new full release stuff. So we'll look at this when we get there. But obviously we've got two solids coming into there. And we should have two solids on the output at the end of the day. But this one's going to be important for us because sulfur, it's going to make sulfur from other stuff as long as we add our SAM, which we've not seen before, or we've seen it in early access, but we never had a use for it. But this is what it's for. Sulfur is very, very light on the ground in Satisfactory, so it's great that we've got this now. We can actually make that. We can make coal. We can make a lot of other stuff from, you know, different things. And then finally, we got this quantum processor. Or quantum encoder, sorry. Again, this is all brand new stuff, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. I don't want to spoil anybody's, you know, adventures. But this is another one that we've got for brand new 1.0. And again, this is like 4 inputs where you got 3 solid and a liquid going in. And if we look at the front, we've got a solid and a liquid coming out. So depending again on what the thing is, these are all end game sort of recipes. So lots of, you know, quantum processors, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, not going to go too far into that. What we're going to be concentrating a lot of the game is these few things down here, and then the oils and the waters, obviously. But there's a lot to do here, a lot to do. Really looking forward to it, especially on our playthrough. So now let's look at how we grab the stuff out the ground. Before we do that, let's look at what we do with the stuff out the ground. So I might as well finish that while I'm here. So we got the smelter and we've got the foundry. We've had these forever, or since I've been playing the game anyway in early access. So your smelter is how we deal with the ground, with the iron and copper and caterium, where the foundry is mainly used for steel. So we got iron ingot coming here, copper, caterium, and then we got obviously one alternate recipe there. So, but it's generally, you know, however many you go in, you're going to get out. So we got 30 coming in, 30 going out. We can overclock it up to 250% more for your input and then your output, or we can reduce the clock speed, obviously, to underclock. So similar setup to the constructor. Now it's a 1-for-1 for iron and copper, as you can see, but there is a slight difference for caterium. So we don't get as much out for caterium as we put the ore in. So that's one thing to think about. And then we got this aluminium scrap for the aluminium ingot for the alternative recipe. Now for this is primarily for steel. So the most of the other stuff you see in here is all the alternate. I mean, there's some aluminium ones in here, obviously. So it's mainly steel and aluminium, or aluminum if you come from America. But yeah, so we've got loads and loads of alternate things. We can actually do some of our steel work in here as well in the foundry. But right at the beginning, you'll probably be unlocking it mainly for steel. It'll be mainly this one you're unlocking it for. There is a better steel one than this, actually, because this is 45 per minute. And if you can get the alternate solid steel ingot, it cuts it to really nice 40, and then 60 out. So it's if you're looking for an alternate recipe and you're wondering what to pick when you put your hard drive in, if this pops up, snap it, because this is certainly my go-to recipe for steel. I haven't picked it up yet in our playthrough, but hopefully we'll get it soon. So yeah, that's pretty much that for the foundries and the smelters. So now let's look at how we get these things out of the ground. And let's first of all start with the miners. So going down onto a miner down here, it's a bit of coal, a coal deposit. What is this? I think it's a normal. Is it? Just double check. Yeah, it's a normal. So all resources are either impure, normal, or pure. So normal is about average. If we stick a Mark 1 miner on here, we're going to get 60 per minute. If that was impure, we get 30. And if it was a pure, we get 120. But we can play about with the clocking as well to overclock. So we can overclock that twice as much, 200% to get 120, for example. So, or we can go to that extra 250%. And if it was a pure mode, you can knock 270 out, which is the maximum of a belt. Now we can change this up automatically. You just need to click on it with the Mark II. And that obviously goes up to 120. And then the Mark III goes up to the 240, which is what you're aiming for ideally. Especially, you know, pretty much up to mid-game. Right, now for the oil. Oil is pretty standard. Again, it goes on the node it's on. So, hello, buddy. So we've got it right now on a normal node. So we've got 120 meter cubed per minute. So pure node, that would be 240 and 60 for an impure. Water is pretty static. So water goes anywhere where it's deep enough. It'll be, you know, it'll let you know when it's deep enough. We got 120 meters squared per minute, cube per minute on that one as well. So that's that one. And then finally, we've got our gas extractor. So here, which we can't put on because our giraffe's in the way, so let's just give him a little prod. So bye. All right, there you go. So we can put the resource generator, which basically caps the pressure. Don't get anything off this right now because it's all this is doing is capping the pressure. So there's no extractors on this. So what we can do is put some extractors on here. But it looks more complicated than it probably is. And we'll, you know, as we get to our save and we need to get more of these, we'll go through more of these as you know, the process, etc. But the little ones, I didn't need to do that really, but we can put the little extractors on. It does go in the middle, like you can see. Oops, just clicked it off. So resource well extractor is what you want. And these go on the little tentacles which surround the gas well. So you see the end here. So one on the, and they'll go on them all. You can bang them all on. These are not attacking me because I've literally got them as passive. So yeah, obviously it's not doing anything right now because we need to put our gas capper back on. So let's get that big thing back in the middle. There we go. And you can connect this, obviously not to that, but connect these to here. But obviously that's bringing up the gas now. Yeah, and there's not much, and that just shows up there what we've got, how many we got connected. So we've got a couple missing there. So we can always plug them in. Where are they? One's there, and I think there's something, another one somewhere else, is there? Yeah, there it is, over there. Now we should go back in and it's all covered. Yep, all covered. And that's the extractors. So before we actually go into our little run through Factory 101, I just want to go through how we connect things together. So really what the splitters are. So first we'll start with the merger. So you see merges 3 lines in and 1 output. And then it goes in, and then we got a splitter which literally splits 1 in and then splits into 3. And then we've got this one, which is a smart splitter. So we can actually choose what we do with this. We can do an overflow. So if it gets full, it will just send it out onto this. We can do any undefined, or we could actually pick a particular product we want to send in a certain direction. So the right output would be here. And then finally, we've got the programmable splitter, which looks the same at the end of the day. And it more or less is. You can pick whatever you want, including overflowing this one as well. But what's the difference? Well, you can perhaps spot the difference. So if we look at, actually not the splitter, we look at the smart splitter, we can see that. And then if we go back to our programmable, we see this. We can add. So basically, thing is, programmable splitter, we can add multiple to the output, where with a smart splitter, it's 1. Yep. So I don't generally I've not come into a use case for this as yet for the programmable splitter. So I use smart splitters a lot. But if you unlock these as well, and you can use these as much, I think. I wouldn't have thought there's a difference, to be honest. Like I said, I don't really use them myself. I usually just use the smart splitter, which is opened up in the Mammoth thing for under the quartz arm. And the next thing is the speeds. So we got a Mark 1 belt, which is what we start off with, and eventually we can unlock the Mark 2 belt, which I put over here. It's a little bit faster. And then we got Mark 3 down here. And then faster still, the Mark 4s. And faster still, the Mark 5. And brand new in 1.0, we've got the Mark 6. So what's the script with these? Well, let's get it up here. So you can see that it's 60 per minute on the Mark 1. The Mark 2 is 120. The Mark 3 is 270. So it's a bit more than double. But the Mark 4, and going back on the 270, by the way, that is a useful figure, but we get to that at some point. 480 for the Mark 4. Taking us to the Mark 5, which used to be the biggest at 780. Now we have a 1200 as a Mark 6, which is superb. And then we've got the conveyor lifts, which is basically 1 for each. And these will connect to the ends. We'll get a lot of the use cases for these as we go along as well. But basically they're just to raise the raise the belt up to a different level up or below. We can just connect them together like so. And basically we've got pretty much different speeds within these as well to match the belts. Straightforward, really. And then to finish off, what we can look at now is just what add-ons we've got for supports. So for the conveyors, we've got the hall. So what we do with the hall is we can connect a independent elevator to that side, then go underneath, and then we've got one we can put onto this side. We'll be using the halls a lot because it makes a nice clean walkable work surface on the top. So we'll be using these a lot. And then while we're under here, we've got this as well, which attaches to the ceiling. But to be honest, if you just use the belt, it does it automatically now. So if you click the belt, it automatically adds this as the ceiling one. It also adds the wall one as well. So while we're talking about it, let's go and have a look at the wall. So let's go and put a wall up. All right, let's just add a little bit of wall. so used to my my mod, which is a far better soup. It does up and down at the same time. So yeah, again, you can just put your brackets up as single, or like I said, same for the roof. You can just do it onto the wall straight, and it will automatically add the wall brackets should they be needed. And I think the only thing that's left now to say about these is the stackable conveyor pole, I think. That's pretty self-explanatory. So we can stack these on top of each other. So you get a nice sort of like indication that you've got a nice line up there with the white line. And then you can just join these together. You can actually start to bring them down as well if you want to start to slowly lower it out. But we see a lot of these. We'll see a lot of these in our playthrough for sure. Pretty crucial, really. And then it's quite handy to actually put one underneath as well and have a ground floor. Goes in like that, and that's that. So yeah, a conveyor highway is a very popular item within Satisfactory. Right, and we can pretty much say the same now for pipelines. The difference with pipeline is water has no direction. So it'll slosh. It'll go from left to right. So if you put it in at one end and it meets a brick wall at the other, then it'll just start to roll backwards. And you can put these angles straight onto junctions straight onto the pipes, and it'll just make more, you know, you can connect more to it like this. So the ones like this, you can tell are the Mark IIs of 600 meter cubed, and the small ones, the Mark I's, are 300. And then you could put a valve on it, so which actually just pushes the fluid, we'll say, in a particular direction. So these are opposing. So this would force it to all go up and down the Mark 1 pipe. Oh, sorry, the Mark 2 pipe here. And then finally, you've got the pipeline pump, which actually puts power in, and will actually actively pump. So you put these in if you're going over and above a certain height difference and your water's getting stuck. It might need a pump to actually push it a little bit. And I think you get about 50 meters on this, or 25. I can't remember. There's a couple of versions. It does need power, that though, as well. So be mindful of that. Obviously, it's not working now. It's not connected to a power source. It's not connected to a water or oil or anything like that. So what are we looking here? We're looking same as we've got with the conveyor belts. We've got a shed load of physical supports for our pipes. So we've got a standard support here, which is just, these are what automatic will come on the end. And then we've got these here, which are stackable ones for pipes. And again, I think I missed that one. Did I miss that one? Yeah. Could be a bit pedantic missing it. Yeah, so then we can just connect the pipes to both ends. So let's go back and grab a pipe. Any pipe will do. Let's do the Mark 1s. And just like the conveyor belts, you generally can put one underneath as well. And they pretty much line up exactly where you want them to be. Look very nice on a factory, very cool. And then we've got the pipeline haul and support. So let's have a look at the supports. So that's the wall support, literally just like the one. But again, if you just get a pipe, it will automatically put the right support it has. Just make sure you've got the right direction. And on the wall here, it automatically puts in the pipe support for a wall. And then we've got a wall haul, which we don't have for a conveyor belt because we have walls with conveyor belt sort of holes already in them, so you can get a mod once they work. But this you can put anywhere on a wall, and similar to the floor mod, the floor hole, you put a pipe either side. So like just like this one here, this is the floor version of it, and it's all pretty much the same. And for me, pipes work pretty okay, but they can be problematic for some people. But again, we can address that as we go along. So I think now we can actually think about how to run a factory. So if you click N key and key in your recipe, and if you want reinforced iron plate, you'll come up with this. It gives you some basic information, but if you click on it, it will give you complete information, and it gives you your per minute requirements for the input as well as the output. So we got reinforced iron plates at 5 per minute. Let's say we wanted 10 iron plates per minute. We have a recipe and we need 10. So I need 2 of these. So I need double those inputs. So I need 30 a minute iron plates. So I need 60 per minute for 2. And I need 60 per minute screws. Okay, so let's use this. We're using a reinforced iron plate. So we're going to need an iron ingot. So let's put some foundations on this. Okay. Let's bang a miner on it. I think this is a normal, so I know for a fact, but we'll go through it anyway. But I need 120, and on a normal mode, this should give me 120. So let's double check it. So there you go, 120 per minute. That's what I need, because I need 120 ingots. So let's see that for sure. In fact, let's do a picture wall. Normally what I would do, I would normally scrape this on a, jot it down on a piece of paper of what I need. But obviously for visual effect and to share with you guys, let's just make a quick wall, and we'll do it in pictures, in screens. Okay, this is what I need. 10 RIPs, it needs 120 screws and 60 plates. And for that, I need 90 ingots over there, and I need 30 ingots over here. So 120 was right. So I need to make these into ingots. All right, let's do that. So let's just expand a little bit. Okay, and we got iron ore, so we got to smelt it first. So let's drop the smelters on. These make the ingots. Right, that's done. So let's just get the recipe. Now, if I Control C on this, it copies it, and then Control V on the others, it will automatically paste it. See, so they're all right now. So Control C and Control V, handy shortcuts to have when you're doing a lot of these. Right, let's go and put in some splitters, and let's get it all done. This is not going to line up exactly with the miner here because of how the miner sits on the nodes. The nodes aren't exact, unfortunately, so it does make me a bit OCD crazy, but we have to put up with it. So put a splitter on each side. We got 120. We're going to split this evenly between both sides, so 60 either side. Each one needs 30, so that's what we're going to have. And now if we put some mergers down here, so we're going to join these two and merge all the outputs together. Right, let's put it in. So I need a Mark II here because I need 120 per minute. If I can get to keep all of that on there. So you see that Mark II is 120 a minute. I've got 120 ore in this. So that's the belt I need. But now I only need a Mark 1 because I'm going to split that up 60-60. Now if you... I'm on electric. No electric needed, no power needed, but you will obviously need to connect this to power. So I'm just showing that there. Right, so it's 60 either side, so a Mark 1 belt will do here. Now, quick trick, and it's new for 1.0, but if I just went to connect there, it's angled, but if I click R, it automatically puts it straight and puts a 90-degree angle in. I think that's much better. So you press R to change it between default and then straight. So if you keep it straight, it will always do this, and it looks a lot better. And it also makes it a lot easier when we're putting up our escalators too. Okay, so we've got that. We just need to touch this up now. Oops. I've got fly mode on as well, by the way. It just makes it easy for you guys to see. Obviously, in my playthrough, I've got no mods whatsoever, so no fly-throughs. And again, you would have to obviously connect these to power. They're running right now because, like I said, I've got no need for power, but this is what you would normally do. You'd connect it to both sides and then connect that to your power system. It's a bit dark here though, isn't it? So it's all... I think I might put a light up, to be honest. And then it's... lose that darkness. Let's have a look. So lights are in here in organization. Arrow is to where the light's facing, then you can, next click is where you can tilt it down a bit. Same for this one. Arrow facing to where you want the direction of light, and then just twist it to take it down a little bit. That should do. These actually need a connection even though the lights are off, even though the power's off. And that's it. Looks pretty good. Right, let's connect up our output. So it's just coming out 30 minutes or 30-30. So Mark 1 belt both sides. It's a total of 60, so I can save to connect that to. Well, let's connect these 30s here. That can be a Mark 1 belt between those two because that's only 60, but coming out here it's 120, so we need the Mark 2 belt. So coming out here, let's get the Mark 2 belt on it. Excellent. Right, so now we've got the input, which is the ore. We've turned that ore into ingots. So now we've got to, for the assembler, we've got to make some screws and we're going to make some plates. So we need constructors. So let's just remind ourselves of what we need. So for the screws, yeah, I need 30 rods. So if I look at rods, I know I need 30, but just showing you what you need. So open this in the codex, click the first one. So it's 15-15. So it's 2 constructors. 15 ingots will give me 15 per minute for iron rods. Need 2 of those to get 30. So I can copy this up here. And that up there. So copy that across. Oh, it's already an ingot anyway. And what did I say? I need 2 constructors for 30 iron rods. Excellent. Now, it's a bit squashed up, that, doesn't it? Let me change constructors to CX. You'll be able to see that a bit easier. I know it's being pedantic, don't need to do it. We all know what we're doing. But hey, might as well do it for that one as well. And Let's do it for that one too. So basically, I need 5 constructors on this side, where I need 3 on the other. And that, I only need 30. I'll copy that from there for now. Need 30 there. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. 2 assemblers as well. So I need 5 on one side and 3 on the other. So the 5 is going to be for 2. We'll do this side. So we'll do 2 for our iron rods, which are going to be the input to our next 3 constructors for our screws. So that'll be for the iron rods. We'll put these right next to them. But the first 2 will feed those those other 3. Now for this side, we need our iron plates, so we just need 3. So let's get the input pointing in the right direction. We can get it up. Should do all right there. And there's the 3 plates. So 3 plates, plate, plate. That's 60 plates coming out of them. I need iron rod coming out of that one. You can make this smaller, you know, not as many by using shards, but I'm not doing that right now. So keep it pretty vanilla, no overclocking or underclocking. We need screws in these ones, so that needs 10 iron rods. That's fine. So we're going to put these on. Okay, so now what I need is to put this down here. So, oh, I double click that one, delete that. And one in there, and one in there. So that's for my screws side. Sorry, my plate side. Now we've got to talk about plate. We've got to talk about fingers now, because I need 90 on one side. I need 90 for the plates, and I need only 30 for the rods. So this is where mergers and splitters come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, for the rods, I'm going to take 60 over, because this is going to split 60 either side. But I'm going to put another splitter on. I'm going to put another splitter on, and because I only need 30 over here, I'll take half of that back to the other side, which will give me 90 on the other side. So you'll see what I mean when I do this. So let's take let's take the Mark 1 belt. So let's just not put the fingers in yet. So let me just stop the belt here. So what I need to do now is get on this splitter is just to put another one on. So we'll use an elevator for that. So Mark 1 elevator, so it's literally going to split that up, that 60 up into 2. So you get 30 going to the constructors, and then 30 coming back to here. Well, actually not to there. What am I doing? That's a splitter. So clear that off. What I need to do though is add a merger here. Make sure it's going in the right direction. So turn the green arrow to face the opposite way. There. That's that done. Now I need to just to get an elevator on that. So we got 60 coming in, and then once I take the 30 watts coming out of over here and push it into this merger, then that's going to give me 90. So I've got what I need here as well. So now what I need is similar sort of thing here, but on these three I need my input to be at the back, because that's not going to follow through, and you'll see why I've done that in a second. And no, made the mistake there. I need to get rid of that because the input needs to follow on from the last, like so. Right, I'll show you what I'm doing here now. So we'll go in here and here. So this is for the rods, and then we can also add that in here as well. These are for the plates. So what I need now is to take the output from these. So I actually need the merger. So I'm going to merge this one, and I'm going to merge this one. Now, only needs to be a belt, so you need to click in there just to put that Mark 1 belt in there. So double click in that one, that connects the merger to the constructor. Same for that one. I know, so there we go. And then 30 across from here should be all right. Now this needs an elevator, because this is going to feed my screw constructors. So let's take it high up there, and then at the back here, let's match the height. Now we just need the well, why is that not working? Oh, I know why that's not working. For some reason my 3 has been moved over to something else and not the belt, but there you go. Right, so that's the belt dump. So that's now the input. And that's that. Now I just need to get this to work. It's obviously not connected, so in fact let's just delete it. Let's just delete the connections and put one in. I heard somewhere that these had been sort of corrected so you can actually add them, but it didn't work that time, so that's going a bit too fast. I think I put 2 wrong in there, so that should be 1, and that should be 1, and that should be, actually that should be 2. So easy to put the wrong belts on. I mean, if they're too fast, they're too fast. It's when they're too slow, that's when it becomes a problem. So that's when you end up troubleshooting. Right, I think we're good there. Okay, that's all connected up. So now what we need is the outputs for this. So these are the plates. We just need to double click in there with the belt. Did that go in? Of course it didn't. That's because it's not a belt, is it? I'll have to do another tutorial about how to set up your hot buttons at the bottom there, and how they can easily mess up like they've just done for me. Because basically, if you notice, my 3rd one should be this belt, but it's not. It's been moved to the belt support. I must have clicked on the number 3 button when I was hovering over the belt support and it changed it to this. Okay, now I just need to grab these screws. So I've got the plates. These are all the screws. So these are the only things that I need now to actually make, to bang into the assemblers to make the actual reinforced iron plate. But you see the principle of the thing. You got your input, which is your ore, that made into certain products to go into, to be sent then into the assembler, which we're going to make after this. And that's simple how a factory works. Effectively, you just start with an input, do whatever you need to do in the middle of that to get the desired output. Now I'm doing this all one level, so it's a bit large, but I've done this in a 4x4 blueprint, a complete factory. You know, which is what we'll be looking at. So we got the last thing to put in, so I just need 2 of these. I just need to line that up. Roughly about there, I think. Just on the line. Yep, that will work. Now, I'll put an elevator on one of these. Actually, I don't want it on that one. I want it on the second one. Yeah, I want it on that one. Yeah, I'll put an elevator on that one too. All right, let's connect these up. So if I put this on here, it's not quite connected. There it is, connected. So get 3 on there. Okay, that's good enough. Delete them. Delete that. And we'll put 1 here too. Okay. And let's put 1 here on this side. Right, so we've got the plates going to the 2 at the back. So it just needs to be on 1. And then bang that into there. And then for the screws that go in here, I think we're covered. Just need to do that little gap in there. That's it. We should be straight there now. We just need to give these the recipe, don't we? So reinforced iron plate is what we want. That should work working fine, and same for that one. That's it. Jobs are good. So what we need now is just to give a little bit more room for this, and we just get it into some sort of storage unit. But this is, like I said, it's just an example of the thinking behind. You can copy and do this on multiple recipes, multiple outputs. It's the principle of the thing, how to connect using different machines depending on what recipe you want to do. So I hope this has been helpful for us, you know, for new players, especially, obviously, and returning players who can't remember, you know, how to play the game. But this is just, you can play about, make it all nice and clean. You can make it nice and tight. You can use power shards to actually overclock as well to get things, you know, to not use as many machines. I mean, I could have overclocked to 200% and just use one assembler, for example. But, you know, it is what it is. But I hope it's been useful, and I hope it's explained, you know, the basics and the concepts. I mean, I wouldn't use this personally in my factories, but I have done, because when you're learning and you're just starting out, you know, you need to do it like this, and then you can do, this is my input, this is what I need to crunch, and this is my output. So we do it. I need to connect that. That's what happens sometimes when you put things in. It didn't connect properly. Is that working now? Yep, it's taking the iron plate. Excellent. So that's it, folks. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been useful to you. And you know, watch the series that I'm doing now if it interests you. We'll get to do all of this, but we'll be putting into like some blueprints and things like that, and we'll have some fun along the way. I'll put some more of these out as well as we go along. You know, so if you have any problems, you want anything specific talked about or demonstrated, then let me know in the comments, and I could throw one of these out at any point. But thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's useful to you, and I'll see you again in the future. And there should be some more videos coming out, by the way, for the others. It just takes a long time to actually reduce them down for hours into like an edible chunk of for YouTube. So they will be coming out very soon, though, the other episodes for the series I'm doing right now on the channel. All right. Well, thanks for listening, all, and I will bid you all a good day, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.